Hey guys, and welcome back to our channel, The Upper Hand. We recently released a video about anything and everything related to carpal tunnel, so if you want to check out that video first, click the link above. It will go into much more detail than what you will see here in this video, but if you feel like you have a pretty good grasp on carpal tunnel syndrome and just in need of a few tips and exercises to help you manage it, then you are in the right place.
So we've talked to hand therapists all across the South. We asked them what's their go-to exercises for helping to relieve carpal tunnel syndrome symptoms. And we've narrowed it down to 3 of the most helpful tips that we believe you can easily incorporate into your daily routine. So stay tuned because you're not going to want to miss these.
Alright, let's jump right into it. Again, we emailed, text, called many different hand therapists, and the number one thing we heard across the board was splinting. You have to get yourself or your patient, if you're watching this as a therapist, into some sort of wrist brace to keep that wrist at a neutral position. You don't need one that includes the thumb. And matter of fact, we're just going to list one that we personally use in the description so that you know that you're getting the right one. We know that we need to wear a splint, but now let's talk about when to wear this splint or this brace. Well, it really just kind of depends. I will almost always say you need to be wearing it at nighttime, because when you sleep, we have a tendency to kind of curl up, which puts a lot of pressure on that nerve. And this a lot of times will cause people to kind of wake up and feel like they have to shake their hands to get the numbness and tingling to go away. However, some people are having symptoms during the day with some activity like typing or writing, and if that's the case, of course, I would suggest wearing it then. However, I would not suggest wearing this all day long, because if you do this for a long enough period of time, it's going to make your wrist really stiff, and that's going to cause other problems.
So the second important thing for managing carpal tunnel syndrome symptoms is education. So you have to know why you're having symptoms. So think, do you have underlying or pre-existing conditions such as being overweight, being a diabetic? Do you have a new job that involves heavy or repetitive use of your hands? These are things to think about. Also, are there any practical ways that you could change everyday activities to put your wrist in a better position? The answer to that is yes, and I want to share a few of those with you. So a few of those: number one, do you type on the computer often? If you do, make sure you're in a position to where your wrist can stay in a neutral or slightly extended position. We're going to throw in a clip and show you that right here. Number 2 is to think about driving your car. The other day I was driving and I noticed my hands having a little tingling, little paresthesias, and so I had to readjust my grip on the steering wheel. So it's the same idea. When you're gripping, make sure your wrists are at a neutral or slightly extended position, at least not in a very flexed position. And number 3 is to think about how you're holding the phone or mobile device right now as you're watching this video, because chances are you're watching it on a phone or mobile device. They've become a big part of our everyday lives. So anytime you're using your phone or tablet or whatever, make sure you're switching hands to give each one a break.
And last but not least, if you have a patient with carpal tunnel, or you yourself are suffering from carpal tunnel, you're going to want to do some form of nerve glides. Nerve glides help to, well, glide the nerve. The idea is to glide the nerve back and forth slightly in its tract in order to kind of create slightly more space around it and hopefully help relieve some of those symptoms. There are a few out there, and I won't argue which is best, but again, the theory behind this is that your nerve is not attached to a muscle or a tendon, so you can't just contract a muscle and the nerve move like a tendon would. So to glide the nerve, we kind of have to put our arm or our body in some sort of funky positions. We're going to go over a few of those. So here's how to perform a few of our go-to nerve glides specifically for the median nerve. When performing this glide, you should immediately feel a stretching feeling, but you should not take the stretch or the glide to the point of pain. If you're a therapist and your patient can tolerate it, hold each stretch or glide position for about 5 to 10 seconds and then repeat that 10 times. And you can perform these exercises or these nerve glides around 3 times a day.
So we're by no means saying that these are the only 3 things you can do for carpal tunnel syndrome, but we do think that these ideas need to be included in whatever you're already doing to treat or manage your symptoms. So hey, if you guys enjoyed this video, we think you'll like a lot of our other videos as well. So make sure that you subscribe below so that you don't miss any videos that we put out, because we want to provide you with a lot more content. Check out our library of videos and you may find something there that you like that you can use.
We hope these tips give you guys the upper hand as you manage carpal tunnel syndrome. See you guys next time.